I'm curious, do you have a place on your regular commute that you can just kind of stop and literally smell the roses? There's a song when I was a kid that we sang in church. It said, I shall not be moved. Just like a tree planted by the water, I shall not be moved. My wife discovered this route that we have on the way from our house to the farm, and it reminds us of Gatlinburg, and that's actually where we spent our honeymoon at when we were kids. We loved it. My wife and I were talking yesterday about some of the challenges of the people who are in our world and the people who we lead for all intents and purposes. Her aides, the guys who work for me, and something hit me, and I want to share it with you guys. What hit me was two things, really. The Henry David Thoreau quote from the book Walden, where he says, many men live lives of quiet desperation, and they go to the grave with their song still in them. I made that about me for a very, very long time. All about me, really. And you couple that with another big idea. It was Marianne Williamson who in her poem, she says, we're supposed to live in such ways that we let our light shine, so we give others permission to let their light shine. I've got a young man who works with me. His name is Dylan. He lives in a camper. He does not have his own electrical, or they're on a well for water. He shares an electrical outlet via extension cords from like his grandmother's house. In the winter time, he sent me a text one night. He said, it's 27 in the living room. Ha ha ha. One of Dylan's goals this year is to improve his housing situation. And as Dylan and I have rode in the truck together, he spent a ton of time just, right there. Of course, the dog treats weren't there, but he spent a lot of time right there. And as we've gone about, and as we've talked, and as we've worked together, interesting story about Dylan. Actually, I'll share it on our call on Monday, because I don't want to belabor the video. But I treat Dylan like he's my equal. I don't treat Dylan like he's beneath me. And his cousin Bailey, who works with me now, Bailey's a rough character. I love him. I love Bailey, but Bailey is hardworking. I've watched both of these young men mature, and I've watched them both grow. Let me tell you what Bailey did the other day. I pay them on Wednesday so that they can get their checks deposited so they can have money for the weekend. Go figure. And to pay bills. And Wednesday night, they both got a good paycheck. Dylan got over 40 hours. Bailey got right up at it. And I tell them when I want them there, and I go pick them up most days, and I'll drop them off from work most days. So they're doing life with me pretty much all day, and they're kind of where I am, or where I leave them with the job I leave them to do. But I told them Wednesday night, I said, guys, hey, permission to speak freely here? They said, yeah, sure. I said, how many people do you know who get a good paycheck like y'all just got, and then take a week off of work, or 2 or 3 days off of work, and get broke again, and get yourself in a hole again, and then have to go make back up for it? They both agreed. So the next morning, I went to pick up Bailey and Dylan, and it was the same morning that the AT&T power outages were across the nation. Both of those boys are on AT&T. And anyway, I got in touch with Dylan because I was FaceTime audio. Couldn't get in touch with Bailey. Where's Bailey? Couldn't find him. Like 2 hours later, finally get on the phone with Bailey, and now let me tell you what he did. He had woke up early. He borrowed his grandmother's car to go to the store to cash his check, this little convenience store up the road that cashes your check. They didn't have enough money to cover his check, and he needed to cash his check. He went and opened a checking account. You know how proud I was of Bailey for handling his business? He did what he had to do. Sometimes I think we are, let me rephrase that. Let me make this personal. Let me make this therapy for a minute, okay? Sometimes in my life I've been so selfish in my own pursuits and in my own, I know God is good, man. I know the Father's going to take care of me. I believe in the faithfulness of God more than I believe in the water that's flowing in that creek. But why do I ever doubt? And the same love that the Father has displayed and demonstrated toward me, the same grace and mercy and charity and patience and perseverance and blessings that my Father in heaven has demonstrated toward me, isn't there a responsibility on me, if I've learned anything in my 43 years, to demonstrate those same things toward others? To live in such a way that if my light shines, then others have the opportunity to shine their lights as well. Just like a tree planted by the water, I shall not be moved. Then there's another line. Though all hell assails me, I will not be moved. Jesus never fails me, I shall not be moved. Just like a tree planted by the water, I shall not be moved. That's my morning groggy voice. Love you guys. Let's discuss these things on a call on Monday. Have a great weekend.